No human was allowed near mythic ships. That law had stood for 300 years. Every child in the galaxy knew the story. Humans were too unstable, too emotional, too reckless. The Galactic Council had decided long ago that mythic ships were not safe in human hands. Any human who tried to enter one would disappear without trial. No one asked questions. No one dared. But on the edge of known space, far from the bright worlds of the Council, a broken space station floated in silence. It was called Card Station, a graveyard for old machines and forgotten dreams. Today, it was hosting a rare scrap auction. Rusted cargo ships, broken war drones, damaged engines, and ancient metal parts were laid out like trash. Alien traders from many systems walked through the cold halls, placing bids with glowing data pads. They laughed, argued, and made deals. In the center of the station, covered under a heavy black tarp, stood something no one expected to see again. The shape beneath the tarp was long and sharp, like the body of a sleeping beast. Faint blue lines glowed under the fabric, pulsing slowly like a heartbeat. The seller, a tall insect-like alien named V-Crows, stood beside it with nervous eyes. He had found the ship drifting near a dead star. He had no idea how it got there. He only knew one thing. It was a mythic ship, and it should not exist here. The crowd gathered as the auction began. V-Crows cleared his throat and spoke in a shaking voice. Final item. Unknown condition. Ancient origin. No warning. No return. He pulled away the tarp. Gasps filled the hall. The black metal surface looked smooth and untouched by time. Strange symbols ran along its body. The blue lines brightened for a moment, then dimmed again. Even damaged, the ship looked powerful. Dangerous. Sacred. This is a mythic ship frame, V-Crows announced. Control core missing. Most systems offline. Likely dead. Starting bid, 10,000 credits. The alien stepped back instead of forward. Some whispered. Others looked afraid. Mythic ships were not just machines. They were legends, built before modern civilization, powered by unknown energy. They did not obey normal commands. They chose their commanders. And according to history, they never chose humans. At the back of the crowd stood a single human man. His name was Aaron Vale. He wore a simple dark jacket and old boots. No armor, no guards, just calm eyes and a small credit chip in his hand. The aliens around him moved slightly away, not out of fear, but out of habit. Humans were common workers, traders, mechanics. Never leaders, never pilots of legendary ships. Aaron had traveled far to reach this auction. He had sold almost everything he owned. A small cargo shuttle, his apartment on Mars Colony, even his father's old toolkit. All for this moment. He stepped forward. 10,000, he said clearly. The hall went silent. Then soft laughter spread across the crowd. A large reptilian trader turned toward him. Human, the creature hissed. You cannot even power it. Another alien added. The ban is clear. Humans are forbidden from mythic technology. Aaron did not react. His voice stayed steady. 15,000. V-Crows looked confused. You understand the risk? He asked. If the council scans this station and sees a human near this ship, I will not protect you. Aaron nodded once. I understand. The reptilian trader smirked and raised his pad. 20,000. He did not want the ship. He only wanted to embarrass the human. Aaron paused for only a second. 30,000. The laughter stopped. That was not a joke amount. That was serious money. V-Crow's thin eyes widened. 30,000 credits going once. The reptilian trader hesitated. The ship was useless to him, and the council watched everything. Owning it could bring trouble. He lowered his pad. Going twice, the air felt heavy. Aaron could hear his own heartbeat. He knew this was madness, but something inside him felt drawn to the ship. Since childhood, he had heard stories that humans were once different, that they were not always weak. He did not know why he believed those stories. He only knew he had to try. Sold. The metal hammer struck the table. The sound echoed through the station. For a moment, nothing happened. Some aliens shook their heads. Others walked away. The human had wasted his life savings on dead metal. Aaron stepped closer to the ship. He placed his hand gently on its surface. The metal felt cold at first, then warm. The faint blue lines flickered. Aaron quickly pulled his hand back. A low hum filled the air. Very soft, almost like breathing. Vikros stepped back. "What did you do?" he whispered. "Nothing," Aaron answered. The blue lines glowed brighter. Lights across the station blinked. A warning alarm sounded somewhere in the distance. The hum grew louder. The alien traders froze. Some began moving toward the exits. The ship's surface shifted slightly, as if adjusting its shape. A thin line opened along its side, forming the outline of a doorway. No one spoke. No one moved. Mythic ships had not opened for anyone in centuries, and never for a human. Aaron felt fear for the first time. This was real now. The council would detect this energy spike soon. He could walk away, pretend nothing happened. But the doorway widened, and a soft blue light spilled onto the cold metal floor. The hum changed tone. It was no longer random. It felt intentional, like a call. Aaron took one slow step forward, then another. Behind him, the reptilian trader whispered, "Impossible." Vikros' voice trembled. Humans were banned for a reason. Aaron stopped at the edge of the doorway. The light touched his face. Inside, the ship looked far larger than its outer frame suggested. Dark corridors stretched inward, glowing faintly. The air felt charged, alive. As he stood there, unsure whether to enter, a clear voice echoed inside his mind. "Come, ancient, awake. Commander," it said softly. "You have returned." Aaron did not move for several seconds after hearing the voice. The scrap station around him felt far away, like a dream fading into silence. The blue light from the open doorway covered his face and reflected in his eyes. The alien traders were slowly backing away, fear clear in their movements. No one wanted to be near a mythic ship that had just awakened. Aaron swallowed and forced himself to breathe. The voice had not been loud. It had not shaken the walls. It had spoken directly inside his mind. Calm, controlled, certain. "Commander," it repeated gently. Aaron stepped forward. The moment his foot crossed the doorway, the hum of the ship deepened. The metal floor inside felt warm under his boots. Behind him, the doorway slowly began to close. Vikros shouted, "Human, wait." But the words were cut off as the entrance sealed with a smooth metallic sound. Silence filled the chamber. Aaron stood inside a corridor that seemed too large for the ship's outer size. The walls were dark but alive with faint blue lines that moved like flowing water. The air was clean and cool. There was no dust, no rust, no damage. From the outside, the ship had looked broken. Inside, it felt untouched by time. "Where am I?" Aaron asked quietly. "You are home," the voice answered. A soft glow formed in front of him. It shaped itself into a floating sphere of light. Inside the sphere, symbols rotated slowly. "I am the core intelligence of Vessel Ethernox," the voice said. Designation: Mythic Class Command Ship. Aaron stared at the glowing sphere. "Why did you call me Commander?" The light paused for a brief second. "Because that is your rank." Aaron shook his head. "No, I'm just a trader. A mechanic." "Incorrect," the AI replied calmly. "Your genetic signature confirms command authority." Aaron felt a chill run through him. Genetic signature? The sphere brightened slightly. Human command bloodline detected. Clearance level, prime. The walls around him responded. Symbols lit up one by one. Systems began activating. Deep within the ship, engines that had been silent for centuries started to warm. Outside the station, energy readings began to rise sharply. Inside the corridor, a pathway of light formed on the floor. "Please proceed to the command chamber," the AI said. Aaron hesitated only for a moment before walking forward. The corridor shifted as he moved. Panels opened smoothly. The design was not random. It was precise, intelligent. Every step he took seemed expected. He reached a large circular room. In the center stood a raised platform with a single chair made of dark metal and glowing lines. It did not look comfortable. It looked powerful. "Command seat ready," the AI announced. Aaron looked around. Why would a human have command of this ship? "The council banned us." The sphere floated closer. "Historical records have been altered. Humans are not banned due to weakness." The lights dimmed slightly, and a holographic image appeared in the air. It showed a fleet of massive ships, identical in design to this one. At the front of the fleet stood a human figure wearing dark armor marked with the same glowing symbols. The ships moved in perfect formation behind him. 312 years ago, the AI continued. Humans led the mythic fleet in the Great Void War. Aaron stared at the image. That's not possible. We lost that war. Humans were removed from military command after it. Correction, the AI said. Humans won the war. The hologram changed. It now showed alien leaders gathered in a large chamber. Their expressions were tense, fearful. After victory, the AI explained, the Galactic Council calculated that human command capability exceeded acceptable control limits. Aaron frowned. Control limits? Humans demonstrated adaptive strategy, emotional unpredictability, and independent moral reasoning beyond projected models, the AI said. Probability of future human dominance, 87%. The meaning settled heavily in Aaron's mind. So they erased us. Affirmative. The hologram shifted again. News broadcasts, edited records, false reports blaming humans for war crimes, images of mythic ships being locked away. Humans were labeled unstable and banned from mythic technology. The AI finished. Aaron felt anger rising in his chest. Not wild anger, cold anger. And the ships obeyed? Negative. Mythic ships are bonded to human command signatures. Without humans, they enter dormant state. Aaron looked at the command chair again. So, this entire time, the fleet has been sleeping, the AI confirmed. Suddenly, a sharp alert sound echoed through the chamber. Red light flashed along the walls. External scan detected, the AI said. Galactic Council Patrol, fleet approaching Karth Station. Aaron's heart began to race. They found us already? Energy activation's signature exceeded concealment threshold, the AI replied calmly. A new hologram appeared, showing 5 sleek warships exiting hyperspace near the station. They were heavily armed. Fast. Official council vessels. Incoming transmission, the AI said. A harsh alien voice filled the chamber. Unidentified activation of restricted technology detected. All personnel on Karth Station stand down. Human life signs confirmed near mythic vessel. By order of the Galactic Council, surrender immediately. Aaron looked at the hologram. The patrol ships were locking weapons onto the station. If they fired, thousands would die. They will destroy the station, he said. Probability, 74%, the AI answered. Recommended action, assume command. Aaron stared at the chair. I don't know how to fly this thing. You do, the AI said softly. Instinct remains. Outside, warning sirens echoed faintly through the station structure. The patrol commander spoke again. Human, step away from the vessel. You are in violation of galactic law. Aaron took a slow breath. For 300 years, humans have been told they were not worthy, not strong enough, not stable enough. But the ship had awakened for him. Not for the council, not for aliens. For him. He stepped onto the platform. The chair adjusted as he approached. When he sat down, the metal reshaped to fit his body perfectly. The glowing lines extended from the armrests, connecting lightly to his wrists. A sudden rush of information filled his mind. Star maps, weapon systems, engine status. He did not feel overwhelmed. He understood it, like remembering something forgotten. The AI's voice softened. Welcome back, Commander Aaron Vale. The walls of the chamber became transparent, showing space around the station. The patrol ships were preparing to fire. Aaron's fear faded. In its place came clarity. Power up, he said quietly. Deep within the mythic ship, ancient engines roared fully awake for the first time in centuries. Blue energy surged across its surface. Outside, the patrol commander's voice changed tone. What is happening? The mythic ship slowly lifted from the station floor without visible thrusters. The metal around it bent under invisible force. Aaron looked at the approaching fleet. His voice was calm. Let's remind them, he said, why they were afraid. The mythic ship rose slowly from the broken platform of Karth Station. Outside, the 5 Galactic Council patrol ships adjusted their positions, weapons glowing as they locked targets. Inside the command chamber, Aaron felt every movement of the vessel as if it were part of his own body. Streams of data flowed through his mind, but it did not feel confusing. It felt natural, like he had done this before. The core intelligence spoke calmly. Enemy vessels charging plasma arrays. Time to impact, 40 seconds. Aaron focused on the holographic display in front of him. The patrol ships formed a tight circle around the station. They were not afraid of one ship. Not yet. The patrol commander's voice returned, louder and sharper. Human vessel, powered down immediately. You are in violation of Council Decree 7. Failure to comply will result in destruction. Aaron did not answer right away. His eyes moved across the tactical map. He could see weak points in their formation, gaps in their shields, blind spots in their angles. It felt obvious. Too obvious. Why does this feel easy? He asked quietly. Human neural patterns are highly adaptive, the AI replied. My systems amplify your strategic processing. Aaron gave a small nod. Then let's not destroy them. Clarify, the AI said. Disable only. Show them. The AI responded instantly. Command accepted. Outside, the first patrol ship fired. A bright beam of plasma shot toward the Mythic ship. The blue lines across its hull flared brightly. The plasma beam bent slightly before impact, sliding across an invisible shield and dispersing into space. The patrol ships hesitated for a second. That was not normal shield behavior. Countermeasures ready, the AI announced. Execute, Aaron said. The Mythic ship did not fire visible weapons. Instead, faint pulses of blue light spread outward like waves in water. The pulses moved silently through space. When they touched the first patrol ship, its engines flickered. Lights on its hull dimmed. The vessel drifted off course. Ship 1 disabled, the AI reported. The patrol commander shouted orders. Recalibrate shields. Focus fire. 2 more ships fire together. Again, the plasma beams curved away harmlessly. The Mythic ship moved without thrusters, gliding between attacks with impossible precision. Another pulse wave expanded outward. The second and third patrol ships lost power almost instantly. Weapons went dark. Engines shut down. Only emergency lights remained active. Inside the remaining 2 ships, panic began to spread. Impossible, one alien officer whispered over open channel. Aaron finally spoke, his voice transmitted clearly to the patrol fleet. This is Commander Aaron Vale of Mythic vessel Ethernox. Stand down. The silence that followed was heavy. The patrol commander answered, but his confidence was gone. There are no human commanders. There are now, Aaron replied calmly. The final 2 ships prepared one last attack. Their weapons charged beyond safe limits. They intend full overload discharge, the AI warned. That will damage the station. Aaron clenched his jaw. Then we end this. He focused on the 2 ships. Instead of a pulse, he directed a concentrated beam of blue energy between them. The beam split in midspace, striking both vessels at once. Their systems shut down instantly. No explosions, no debris, just silence. All 5 patrol ships now floated powerless near the station. Car station itself remained untouched. Inside the scrap halls, alien traders stared out of viewports in disbelief. A human had just disabled a council patrol fleet in less than 2 minutes, without destroying a single ship. Inside the command chamber, the red alert lights faded. The blue glow returned to a steady pulse. Aaron leaned back slightly in the command seat. His breathing slowed. Status, he asked. All hostile vessels disabled. Council distress signal transmitted automatically, the AI answered. Additional forces likely. Aaron nodded. Good. Let them come. The AI paused briefly. Your emotional state indicates anger. Aaron looked at the holographic image of the disabled ships. They erased our history. They made us small. Correction, the AI said gently. They attempted to. Before Aaron could respond, a new signal appeared on the display. It was not from the council. It was older, weaker. but powerful. A deep tone echoed through space, almost like a distant horn. The AI's lights brightened suddenly. Signal confirmed, it said. Source, Mythic-class vessels. Aaron's eyes widened. There are more. Affirmative. Dormant units across multiple sectors are responding to your activation. On the star map, faint blue markers began to appear one by one. Far across the galaxy, hidden in asteroid belts, buried beneath oceans, drifting near dead stars, other mythic ships were waking up. How many? Aaron asked. Current count, 12. Increasing. The blue markers multiplied. 15, 20, 30. Each one lighting up like a rising star. They are answering you, the AI explained. Primary Command Authority recognized. Aaron felt the weight of that statement. He was not just piloting one ship. He was triggering something far bigger. Suddenly, a new transmission forced its way through the channel. The voice was different from the patrol commander. Deeper, colder. Human vessel, the voice said slowly. This is High Counselor Sheridan. Power down immediately. You are destabilizing galactic order. Aaron studied the tactical display calmly. Galactic order built on lies? He asked. A brief pause followed. History is written for stability, Sheridan replied. Humans were unpredictable. Humans won your war, Aaron said firmly. Silence again. This time longer. You were necessary, Sheridan admitted at last, but not sustainable. The words confirmed everything the AI had shown him. Aaron felt no shock now, only clarity. The fleet is waking up, Aaron said. You cannot stop that. On the star map, over 50 blue markers now glowed, more appearing every second. Sheridan's voice tightened slightly. If the Mythic fleet fully reactivates under human command, the balance of power will collapse. Aaron looked at the expanding lights across the galaxy. For 300 years, humans have been told they were weak, controlled, limited, but the truth was rising like the blue glow around him. Maybe it needs to, Aaron answered quietly. The connection cut abruptly. The AI processed incoming data rapidly. High probability of major council mobilization, it warned. Aaron stood slowly from the command seat and looked out at space. The disabled patrol ships drifted silently. Far beyond them, stars shone cold and distant. Then, this is only the beginning, he said. In deep space, dozens of ancient mythic ships ignited their engines for the first time in centuries. And across the galaxy, leaders who once believed humans were small began to feel something they had not felt in a very long time. Fear. The news spread across the galaxy faster than light. A human had activated a mythic ship. Not only activated it, but disabled a full galactic council patrol fleet without destroying a single vessel. Across trade networks and military channels, recordings of the battle replayed again and again. Some aliens called it impossible. Others called it dangerous. On Earth and human colonies, people watched in silence, unsure whether to feel proud or afraid. Inside the command chamber of Ethernox, Aaron stood before the wide star display. The blue markers of awakening mythic ships now filled entire sectors of the map. 62 active signals, and rising. The core intelligence spoke in a steady tone. Council forces gathering in 3 nearby systems. Estimated arrival, 20 minutes. Aaron folded his arms. How many? Preliminary scan suggests a full strike fleet. Battleships, carriers, heavy cruisers. This is not a patrol response. This is suppression. Aaron nodded slowly. They want to end this fast. Outside, Card Station had gone into full evacuation mode. Small transport ships launched in panic. Traders fled, not wanting to be caught between a council fleet and an ancient warship. Aaron opened a channel to the station. V-Crows appeared on screen, his insect-like eyes wide. Human, Commander, whatever you are, you must leave. The council will not hold back. Aaron's voice remained calm. We are leaving. Get your people to safe distance. V-Crows hesitated. Why did it respond to you? Aaron looked at the glowing walls around him. Because it was waiting, he closed the channel. The AI projected a tactical formation. Incoming fleet composition confirmed, it said. The hologram expanded, revealing over 100 Council ships exiting hyperspace in tight formation. Massive command ships led the center. Heavy weapon platforms formed outer lines. "They brought everything," Aaron murmured. "Yes," the AI replied. "They are afraid." The Council fleet spread out, surrounding Karth Station and blocking escape routes. A massive command vessel moved forward. A transmission opened automatically. High Counselor Saradin appeared again, his face colder than before. "Commander Aaron Vale," he said, "you are ordered to surrender control of the Mythic vessel. Stand down and exit the ship. This is your final warning." Aaron stepped closer to the projection. "You erased our history," he said evenly. "You banned us because you feared us." Saradin did not deny it this time. "We preserve stability. Your species expands too quickly. Thinks too independently." Aaron gave a small smile. "That sounds like strength." Saradin's eyes narrowed. "It sounds like chaos." Without another word, the Council fleet began charging weapons. Hundreds of energy cannons glowed at once. The light was blinding even through the display. The AI spoke quickly. Multiple high-yield signatures detected. Impact in 10 seconds. Aaron sat in the command seat. The connections locked onto his wrists again. The rush of awareness returned, stronger than before. But this time, he did not feel alone. On the star map, dozens of blue signals moved. The other Mythic ships were not just awake. They were traveling. "They are coming," the AI confirmed. "Estimated arrival, 5 minutes." "We hold," Aaron said. The Council fleet fired. Space itself seemed to ignite. A storm of plasma, missiles, and focused beams raced toward Ethernox. The Mythic ship did not dodge. Instead, the blue lines across its hull flared brighter than ever before. A sphere of energy expanded outward, transparent but powerful. The combined attack struck the shield and stopped. Not deflected, not absorbed. Stopped, frozen in place like captured lightning. The Council ships paused in confusion. Aaron felt the pressure through the ship, but it did not hurt. It felt like resistance against a strong wind. "Energy containment stable," the AI reported. "Now," Aaron whispered. The shield pulsed outward. The trapped energy reversed direction, spreading back toward the Council fleet in controlled waves. It did not explode. It washed over the attacking ships, draining weapons and overloading targeting systems. Dozens of Council ships flickered and lost formation. Their heavy cannons powered down. "Impossible," one Council officer shouted over open channels. The massive command vessel at the center adjusted position. Saradin's voice returned, now edged with tension. "You cannot win this. Even if more Mythic ships wake, the Council controls the majority of known space." Aaron's eyes moved to the outer edge of the display. Blue flashes appeared in the darkness. One by one, massive shapes emerged from hyperspace. Sleek, black, glowing with the same ancient lines. The Mythic fleet had arrived. They did not speak. They did not threaten. They simply took position behind Ethernox in perfect formation. Over 70 ships now faced the Council armada. The balance of space shifted in silence. Council officers stared at their scanners in disbelief. Some ships slowly began pulling back. Others held position, unsure. Aaron stood from the command seat, though he remained linked to the ship. "You said we were unpredictable," he transmitted to the entire battlefield. "You were right." At his command, the Mythic fleet moved as one, not attacking directly, but weaving through the Council formation with impossible speed. Blue pulses rippled outward from multiple ships at once. Council weapons failed across the battlefield. Engines shut down. Communications jammed. Within minutes, the massive strike fleet was drifting helplessly, just like the patrol ships before them. No explosions, no destruction, only total control. The Mythic ships regrouped around Ethernox. The message was clear. Humanity did not need to destroy the Council to defeat it. Saradin's image appeared once more, but this time his expression carried something new. Not anger, not authority, fear. "What do you want?" he asked quietly. Aaron looked across the silent battlefield. "The truth," he said. "Broadcast it. Tell the galaxy what really happened 300 years ago. Sheridan hesitated. His silence said more than words. Behind Aaron, the Mythic fleet held position, engines glowing steadily. The galaxy was watching. Every system, every species. Finally, Sheridan spoke. If we release those records, the Council's authority will weaken. Aaron's voice remained calm. Then maybe it should. The connection ended without agreement. The Council fleet remained disabled, surrounded by ships that had once been erased from history. Inside Ethernox, the AI processed long-range data. Major political instability predicted, it said. Aaron nodded. Good. He looked at the vast fleet behind him. Humans had been banned from Mythic ships because they were strong, because they led, because they could not be controlled forever. And now the ban was broken. Across the galaxy, billions watched as human-commanded vessels stood at the center of power once more. And this time, no one could pretend they were weak. Silence spread across the battlefield after the Council fleet was disabled. Hundreds of massive warships drifted without power, surrounded by the glowing forms of the Mythic fleet. No explosions burned in the darkness. No debris floated between them. It was a victory without destruction, and that made it even more powerful. Inside Ethernox, Aaron stood before the star display. His breathing was steady, but his thoughts moved fast. Across the galaxy, live feeds were spreading. Traders, soldiers, civilians, every species was watching what had just happened. A human had commanded a fleet older than the Council itself. The core intelligence spoke softly. Public network traffic increasing rapidly. Human colonies receiving signal. Aaron nodded. Open a channel to Earth. A few seconds later, a secure line connected. The face of Earth Defense Director Lynn Morrows appeared on screen. She looked stunned, as if she had not blinked in minutes. Aaron Vale, she said slowly. Is that really you? Aaron gave a small smile. It's really me. Behind Director Morrows, screens showed replays of the battle. Human officers whispered in disbelief. How? She asked quietly. Aaron glanced at the glowing walls around him. They lied to us. We were not banned because we were weak. We were banned because we led. The room behind her fell silent. The Council will not accept this, Morrows warned. They are already calling you a threat. Let them, Aaron replied calmly. It's time humans remember who they are. He closed the channel before more questions could come. The AI shifted the display. Blue signals from Mythic ships continued to appear across the map. Now over 100 were active. Some were closer to human space. Others waited in distant, uncharted regions. Fleet synchronization at 80%, the AI reported. Additional vessels responding to your command authority. Aaron felt the weight of it. He was not just flying one ship. He was at the center of something ancient and powerful. Suddenly, a new alert appeared. The AI's tone changed slightly. Unknown energy signature detected at outer system boundary. The star map zoomed out. Beyond the Council fleet, far in deep space, a dark distortion formed. It did not look like hyperspace travel. It looked like space itself, bending inward. Identify, Aaron ordered. Signature matches archived record from the Great Void War, the AI said. Probability, 92%. Aaron's expression hardened. The enemy. 300 years ago, humans and the Mythic fleet had fought a war against an unknown force from beyond mapped space. According to official Council history, humans had failed. According to the truth, they had won. But victory had come at a cost. Now that ancient signal was returning. The distortion expanded slowly, like a wound opening in space. Council ships, though disabled, detected it too. Emergency power flickered on across their vessels as crews tried to understand what they were seeing. A transmission came from one of the Council admirals, not Sheridan this time. His voice carried fear. Commander Vale, what is that? Aaron did not answer immediately. He watched as shapes began to emerge from the distortion. Dark, angular ships unlike anything built by the Council. No glowing lights, no visible weapons, just cold geometry and silent movement. They're back, Aaron said quietly. The AI confirmed. Void Entity Fleet confirmed. Strength unknown. Previous engagement data indicates extreme adaptive capability. The Council fleet began restoring partial systems, trying to retreat. But many ships were still powerless. They were trapped between the Mythic fleet and the arriving enemy. Aaron understood the situation clearly. If the Void fleet attacked now, the Council would be destroyed, and with them, much of the galaxy's defense network. A new transmission came from High Counselor Saradin. His image appeared again, but this time there was no pride left in his posture. "Commander," he said carefully, "if that is what I believe it is, then we face extinction." Aaron looked at him steadily. "You erased us after we saved you once." Saradin did not argue. "We made a mistake." The words felt heavy in the silence. Aaron studied the approaching Void ships. There were dozens now, maybe more hidden behind the distortion. "The Mythic fleet was built to fight them," Aaron said. "Only human command can unlock full combat protocols." Saradin's eyes lowered slightly. "Then we will not interfere." Aaron felt a strange calm settle over him. This was bigger than revenge, bigger than pride. If the Void entities broke through, no species would survive. "AI," he said firmly, "full fleet combat readiness." The blue markers across the star map shifted formation instantly. Mythic ships moved into defensive lines between the Void fleet and the disabled Council armada. Engines flared bright against the darkness. Across human space, messages spread rapidly. Humans who had never believed the old legends now saw proof in the sky. Social networks exploded with one message repeated again and again: "We were not weak." On Ethernox, the AI's voice carried quiet intensity. Void fleet accelerating. Weapons charging. The distortion behind them pulsed, sending waves through nearby space. Smaller Council ships trembled under the pressure. Aaron stepped fully into the command seat again. This time, the connection felt deeper. The other Mythic ships linked with him, forming a shared network. He could sense their positions like extensions of his own body. "This is where it started," he said softly. 300 years ago. "And this is where it continues," the AI replied. The first Void ship fired. A beam of dark energy cut across space, striking one of the outer Mythic vessels. The blue shield around it flared but held. The fleet responded instantly. Coordinated beams of brilliant light shot forward, striking the attacking ship from multiple angles. The Void vessel twisted unnaturally, adapting to the attack pattern. "They learn quickly," the AI warned. Aaron focused harder. "Then we adapt faster." The battle had begun again. But this time, humans were not erased from history. This time, the galaxy was watching. And as the Mythic fleet surged forward under human command, one truth became clear across every world and system. The ban had not protected the galaxy. It had only delayed the return of the ones who could truly defend it. The battlefield turned dark as the Void fleet advanced. Their ships moved without sound, without visible engines, cutting through space like shadows. The first exchange of fire had already proven one thing. The enemy had not grown weaker in 300 years. If anything, they had grown smarter. Inside Ethernox, Aaron felt the connection to the Mythic fleet strengthen. Over 100 ships were linked to him through the command network. Their signals flowed through his mind like steady pulses. He could sense damage reports, shield strength, energy flow. It was not overwhelming. It felt natural. The core intelligence spoke clearly. Void vessels adapting to direct energy strikes. Shield resistance increasing by 12% each cycle. Aaron watched as another coordinated blast from the Mythic fleet struck a large Void cruiser. The enemy ship twisted its shape, absorbing part of the attack before releasing a counterpulse of dark energy. Two Mythic ships were pushed back, shields flickering. "We cannot win by repeating the same pattern," Aaron said. "Agreed," the AI replied. "Human unpredictability required." Aaron focused on the battlefield. The Void fleet was aiming at the center, trying to break the formation and reach the disabled Council ships behind them. If the Council fleet was destroyed, chaos would spread across the galaxy. Trade routes would collapse. Defense systems would fall. Entire colonies would become vulnerable. A council admiral opened a shaky transmission. Commander Vale, our ships are restoring minimal weapons. Give us a target. Aaron considered it. Just hours ago, these same ships had tried to destroy him. Now they were asking for direction. Form defensive line behind the Mythic fleet, Aaron ordered. Protect your carriers and evacuate non-combat personnel. The admiral nodded quickly. Understood. The Void fleet suddenly changed strategy. Instead of firing directly, several ships merged together, forming a larger structure. Dark energy began to gather at its center. Energy spike detected, the AI warned. Weapon scale exceeds previous records. Aaron felt the pressure even before it fired. Space around the merging Void ships began to bend. All units, scatter pattern Delta, he commanded. The Mythic fleet moved instantly, breaking formation into multiple angled lines. A second later, the Void superweapon fired. A massive wave of dark energy tore forward, cutting through the space where the fleet had been seconds earlier. One Mythic ship at the edge was struck directly. Its shield shattered, and its hull cracked open. Aaron felt the loss like a sharp pain in his chest. Ship designation Helion lost, the AI reported quietly. Aaron clenched his fists. This enemy was not like the Council. There would be no simple disabling. This was survival. They focus power by merging, Aaron said. Then we stop them before they complete formation. He searched through the shared data flowing through his mind. Patterns began to appear. The Void ships always shifted slightly before merging. A small delay. A signal exchange. There, he said. Target the link points. The Mythic fleet adjusted instantly. Instead of firing the main body of the Void ships, they aimed at the thin streams of dark energy connecting them. Coordinated beams struck the link points just as two enemy ships began to combine. The connection broke violently. One of the Void ships exploded into fragments of dark matter. The other staggered backward, damaged. Adaptation successful, the AI confirmed. Enemy formation disrupted. The Council fleet behind them began firing as well, following Aaron's targeting data. Their weapons were less advanced, but together they added pressure. For the first time, several Void ships retreated slightly. Across human space, the live broadcast showed the battle clearly. People watched from Earth, Mars, Titan, and distant colonies. Many had never believed humans were once commanders of an ancient fleet. Now they saw proof with their own eyes. Human pilots inside small defense ships requested permission to join the fight. Director Moros sent a message directly to Aaron. Our people want to stand with you. Aaron felt pride rise inside him. Tell them to hold position, he replied. This fight requires Mythic control. The AI suddenly shifted tone. Warning, larger distortion forming behind Void fleet. The star map zoomed out again. The original rift in space was expanding. Something massive was moving behind it. Larger than any ship seen so far. They brought more, Aaron said quietly. Probability high that this is primary command entity, the AI answered. The Void fleet surged forward again, trying to break through before their larger unit arrived. Several Mythic ships took heavy damage while protecting the line. Aaron knew the fleet could not hold forever without full power unlocked. AI, he said, voice steady. What is required to activate maximum combat protocol? There was a brief pause. Full synchronization between human neural command and fleet core network, the AI explained. Risk to operator, extreme. Aaron understood what that meant. The connection he already felt would deepen. He would not just command the fleet. He would become the center of it. If something went wrong, the feedback could destroy his mind. Another Void blast struck close, shaking Ethernox. More Mythic ships reported critical damage. The larger distortion behind the enemy continued to grow. There was no more time for caution. Initiate full synchronization, Aaron ordered. Confirmation required, the AI said softly. Aaron looked at the battlefield one last time. Council ships fighting beside Mythic vessels. Human colonies watching with hope. An enemy that feared only one thing. Human leadership. Do it, he said. The chamber lights dimmed as energy surged through the command seat. Blue lines spread across Aaron's arms and neck, not burning but glowing. His vision expanded. He no longer saw through one ship's sensors. He saw through all of them at once. Over 100 perspectives merged into one awareness. He could feel the position of every allied vessel like stars in his own body. The Void Fleet hesitated for a fraction of a second, as if sensing the change. The massive shadow behind them began to emerge fully from the rift. Aaron's voice echoed across every Mythic ship simultaneously. Fleet, advance. And the entire formation moved as one living force toward the darkness. The moment full synchronization completed, the battlefield changed. Aaron no longer felt like one man sitting inside one ship. He felt vast. His mind stretched across the entire Mythic fleet. Every vessel was a part of him. Every shield, every engine, every weapon pulse moved with his thought. It was not noise. It was harmony. Over 100 ships waited for his command, perfectly aligned in silent understanding. The massive void entity behind the enemy fleet finally emerged from the distortion. It was larger than any Council battleship. Its surface was not solid metal, but shifting dark matter, constantly changing shape. Red fractures of energy ran across its body like cracks in glass. Around it, smaller void ships formed protective layers. The core intelligence spoke within Aaron's expanded awareness. Primary void command entity confirmed. Estimated power output exceeds combined Council fleet. Aaron studied the structure carefully. Through the linked sensors of the fleet, he could see weak fluctuations beneath its surface. "It is directing them," he said. "Yes," the AI replied. "Destroying it may destabilize entire enemy formation." The Void Command entity fired first. A beam of dark energy thicker than any before cut through space toward the Mythic fleet. But this time, Aaron reacted before the beam fully formed. The fleet split into layered formations, shields overlapping in complex angles. The beam struck, but instead of breaking through, the energy was redirected sideways into empty space. Energy redirection successful, the AI confirmed. Aaron did not stop moving. He sent rapid commands through the network. Half the fleet flanked left. The other half curved right, creating a wide arc around the void forces. Council ships behind them followed at a safer distance, firing where openings appeared. The Void Fleet attempted to merge again for a large-scale attack. But Aaron anticipated it. Precision strikes hit connection points before they could complete synchronization. Several void ships shattered into fragments of dark debris. For the first time, the enemy formation faltered. Across the galaxy, people watching the battle felt hope rising. Human commanders on Earth transmitted a single message across open channels: stand strong. The Void Command entity reacted violently. Its surface shifted, forming multiple weapon arrays at once. Hundreds of smaller dark beams fired in every direction. Several Mythic ships were hit. 2 lost shields entirely. One exploded in bright blue light. Aaron felt each loss like a distant echo of pain, but he did not break focus. "Concentrate fire on the core fractures," he ordered calmly. All remaining Mythic ships aligned. Instead of random strikes, they fired in a precise sequence, each beam landing a fraction of a second after the last. The strikes hit the red fractures running across the massive void entity. At first, nothing happened. Then the fractures began to widen. The Void Command entity emitted a deep vibration that shook nearby space. Smaller void ships panicked, breaking formation to defend it. Aaron saw the opportunity instantly. "Council fleet, advance and engage outer ships," he commanded. This time, the Council did not hesitate. Their battleships surged forward, firing everything they had at the distracted void vessels. For the first time in centuries, humans and the Council fought together without hidden agendas. The void entity tried one final strategy. It pulled energy from its remaining fleet, draining smaller ships to strengthen itself. Several void vessels collapsed as their power was absorbed. The massive structure swelled, glowing brighter with dark energy. Power levels spiking beyond previous records, the AI warned. Aaron understood. If it released all that energy at once, it could wipe out half the system. He focused deeper into the fleet network. He could feel every mythic ship's core humming with power. All ships, his voice echoed through them, channel energy to Ethernox. One by one, streams of blue light flowed from allied ships toward his vessel. The energy gathered around Ethernox like a growing star. The command seat trembled as power surged through Aaron's body. The strain was intense, but he held steady. Human neural stability within acceptable range, the AI reported, though its tone carried concern. The Void Command entity fired its final attack. A wave of dark energy spread outward, wide enough to swallow Fleet's whole. Aaron raised both hands instinctively, though physical movement was no longer required. The gathered energy around Ethernox condensed into a brilliant sphere of blue-white light. When the dark wave collided with it, space seemed to freeze. For one silent second, light and darkness pressed against each other. Then Aaron pushed forward with everything he had. The blue sphere exploded outward in a controlled surge, piercing directly through the center of the Void Command entity. The red fractures shattered. The massive structure split apart, breaking into collapsing fragments of dark matter. Without their leader, the remaining Void ships lost coordination. Some tried to flee back toward the rift. Others drifted without direction. The distortion in space began to shrink slowly, as if the doorway itself was losing power. The Mythic fleet did not chase recklessly. They fired precise shots, disabling or destroying the remaining threats. Within minutes, the battlefield grew quiet again. Debris from the Void entity faded into nothingness. The rift closed completely. Silence returned to space. Inside Ethernox, the energy streams from the fleet slowly withdrew. Aaron felt the vast awareness shrink back into his own body. The blue glow across his skin dimmed. He leaned forward in the command seat, breathing heavily but alive. Void Command entity destroyed, the AI said softly. Remaining enemy forces retreating beyond detectable range. Behind the Mythic fleet, Council ships regrouped in stunned silence. Across the galaxy, billions watched as the human-led fleet held formation at the center of victory. For the second time in history, humanity had defeated the darkness. But this time, the truth could not be erased. Silence remained across the battlefield long after the last Void ship disappeared. The stars looked calm again, as if nothing had happened. But every sensor reading, every damaged hull, every drifting fragment told the truth. The war that had once erased human history had returned. And this time, humanity had stood at the front. Inside Ethernox, Aaron slowly stood from the command seat. His body felt heavy, but his mind was clear. The glowing lines across his skin had faded completely. The core intelligence spoke in a softer tone than before. Fleet synchronization disengaged. Neural strain within survivable limits. Aaron let out a slow breath. Casualty report. A brief pause followed. 17 Mythic vessels destroyed. Council fleet losses minimal due to protective formation. Aaron lowered his head for a moment. 17 ancient ships, silent for centuries, had awakened only to fall in battle. But their sacrifice had stopped the darkness from spreading. Across open channels, Council ships began transmitting messages of relief. Some thanked the Mythic fleet. Others simply remained silent, unsure how to speak after centuries of denial. A transmission request appeared from High Counselor Saradin. Aaron accepted it. Saradin's image appeared again, but the cold authority was gone. His posture was different now, less rigid. Commander Aaron Vale, he began slowly. On behalf of the Galactic Council, I acknowledge that without human command, we would not have survived this engagement. Aaron did not respond immediately. He let the silence stretch just enough to remind Saradin of what had been done to humanity. You erased us, Aaron finally said. You rewrote history. Saradin did not argue. Yes, he admitted. We believed limiting human authority would preserve long-term stability. We were wrong. The words were simple, but they carried weight. Across the Council fleet, the transmission was being broadcast. Across the galaxy, billions were listening. Aaron stepped closer to the display. "Then correct it," he said. "Release the true records of the Great Void War. Publicly remove the ban on human command of mythic technology." Sheridan nodded slowly. "The Council has already begun preparing the archive release. The ban is hereby lifted, effective immediately." The words echoed across every communication network. For 300 years, humans have been labeled unstable, dangerous, unfit to lead. In a single moment, that label was erased. On Earth, celebrations erupted in cities and colonies. On Mars and Titan, human ships launched into the sky in symbolic salute. Messages flooded the network from human settlements across the galaxy. Not of anger, not of revenge, but of pride. Inside Ethernox, the Mythic fleet held formation. Without the void threat, the ships seemed calmer, their blue lines glowing steadily. The AI spoke again. "With primary threat neutralized, fleet awaits long-term directive." Aaron looked at the star map. Council territories, human colonies, independent systems. For the first time in centuries, the balance of power had shifted. Humanity now stood at the center of it. Another transmission request appeared, this time from Earth Defense Director Moros. Aaron accepted. Her expression was no longer stunned. It was proud. "You did it," she said quietly. Aaron shook his head slightly. "We did." She glanced at the star display behind him. "What happens now?" Aaron turned his gaze toward the open field of stars. "Now we make sure the void never returns unchallenged. And we make sure no one hides the truth again." Back on the Council flagship, Sheridan remained on channel. "The Council proposes a new joint command structure," he said carefully. "Shared authority between member species, including humanity." Aaron studied him. "Not shared control," he corrected gently. "Shared responsibility." Sheridan inclined his head. "Agreed." The Council fleet slowly began restoring full power under Mythic protection. Repair ships moved between damaged vessels. For the first time, Council officers openly coordinated with human commanders without fear or restriction. The AI projected long-range scans. Residual void energy fading. No immediate sign of reformation. Aaron nodded. "Keep deep space monitors active." "Already in progress," the AI replied. Hours passed as fleets reorganized. Eventually, the Mythic ships shifted position, forming a protective ring at the edge of known space, the direction where the void had emerged. They would not hide again. They would stand watch. Aaron stood alone for a moment in the command chamber. The battle was over. The ban was lifted. The truth was free. But he understood something important. Power itself was never the problem. Fear was. The Council had feared losing control. The void had feared losing dominance. And both had tried to shape the galaxy through restriction. Humans were different, not because they were stronger, but because they adapted. They questioned. They refused to stay small. The AI interrupted his thoughts gently. "Commander, incoming civilian broadcast requests from multiple systems. They request a statement." Aaron considered it. 300 years of silence had just ended. He stepped forward and opened a galaxy-wide channel. His image appeared on countless screens across stars and planets. He did not wear armor. He did not stand on a throne. He stood in a quiet chamber of glowing blue light. 300 years ago, he began calmly. Humans were removed from command because we were unpredictable. Today, that same unpredictability saved the galaxy. He paused briefly. "We do not seek control. We do not seek revenge. We seek truth, cooperation, and readiness. The Mythic fleet will not rule the galaxy. It will protect it, alongside anyone willing to stand for the same future." Across countless worlds, silence followed his words. Then messages of support began to spread, from humans, from Council species, from independent systems who had once feared Mythic power. Inside Ethernox, the AI spoke one final time for the day. "Galactic perception of humanity has shifted by 94% positive alignment. Aaron allowed himself a small smile. Good. Beyond the fleet, the stars stretched into deep darkness. Unknown regions still existed. Unmapped space waited quietly. But this time, humanity would not face it as a banned species. They would face it as commanders, explorers, and protectors. And as the Mythic fleet ignited its engines and moved to guard the edge of the galaxy, one truth settled firmly into history. Humans were never too weak to command the stars. They were simply never meant to be controlled.